close now.
Okay. It's going.
All right, you're live.
Welcome to ThinkTech, raising public awareness about technology, energy, globalism, and diversification. As part of the ThinkTech series, today's show is The Arts in Hawaii. I'm your host, Donna Blanchard, and joining me today is Misa Tupou of the Oahu Fringe Festival, here to talk about his experiences in theater from New Zealand to Oahu. Welcome to the show, Misa.
Hi, thank you.
Our show is being streamed live on ustream.tv and Spreaker.com. These links are embedded in our site, so to get the live streams, just go to thinktechhawaii.com. And if you want to join us in our downtown studio, just email jfidel at j@fidel with 2 L's.com. Misa, I'm really excited to talk with you because it's very rare that you get to sit down with someone for a full hour and just ask them questions. And you have a very intriguing, diverse background that I've been looking forward to grilling you for an hour about.
No, it's not diverse.
Well, okay, we'll let everybody else be the judge of that. Let's start with your history in general. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Zealand, in a great place called Auckland, which specifically out in West Auckland. So if you ever go to New Zealand, you should go and visit West Auckland. It's the best place.
Okay.
So that's where I spent most of my life. But I was born in Tonga, and when I was a little kid, our family moved to New Zealand, and I spent most of my formative years there in New Zealand. So, but now I'm here in Hawaii.
Yeah. And did you you were not involved in theater when you were younger? Did you?
Oh
did
no,
you
no,
study?
no, no, not at all. I didn't show any interest towards theater or the performing arts. What I actually was in love with as a youngster was playing sports. So I played a lot of sports, specifically rugby and cricket. Those two games I still follow, but I don't play. I've gotten older and I've got a nice belly, so my bones are more fragile. So I don't play now, but I still follow those two games. How I got involved in theater was a friend suggested I go and visit this theater company. And I nonchalantly said, yeah, sure, why not? But as soon as I did that, I knew immediately this is what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Really? No. Okay. No. Wait a minute. How old were you then?
I was in my early 20s. So
had you already gone to college?
nope, actually I never did college. I went back to college a few years later, so I did no college in my early 20s.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you were out of school.
High school, and I went out and I did community college, I should say, and then I worked. But during that period, I was introduced to theater, and I fell in love with it. So I I actually stopped playing rugby to take up theater.
Oh, you really did
Commitment.
fall in love with it.
Yeah, big time.
Did you have a regular day job at this point?
At the time, I think I was still doing community college. Yeah.
Okay. And what show did you see? What moved you?
The show I got involved in was a Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet. But the good thing about this, or the difference is from the traditional Shakespeare pieces, this one was set in Samoa. So it was produced by a theatre company in New Zealand in Auckland called Pacific Theatre. And what they did, they uplifted Romeo and Juliet and placed it at the location. So instead of Verona, they placed it in Samoa. And it was, at that time, in the early 90s, there weren't many Pacific Islanders involved in theatre. So for me to become involved in this was a whole new experience. And those folks that I performed with in Romeo and Juliet, they're still my colleagues and they're still my friends. So it was a very fortuitous encounter.
Yeah.
And from then on, I stopped playing rugby.
What's the show that you saw? that you then got involved in Romeo and
Oh,
Juliet.
I didn't see the show. That was the show.
Oh.
A friend of mine said, "Why don't you look into theater?" And as I said before, shrugged my shoulder and said, "Okay." And I went along and said, "Hi, I hear you guys are doing a show. Can I be part of it?" And they welcomed me, and I got straight into it. Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
I found it very demanding at first. And I told myself, man, this is much more harder than committing oneself to rugby. Yes, rugby is physically demanding as well, but for some reason I found theatre more challenging and exciting as well. So I had to give up one to do the other. Yeah.
Physically more challenging. Now that's interesting. I don't think I would. I don't know an actor out there who would say that it is more physically challenging than rugby if they have ever actually seen a rugby game.
That's a good point.
I would go on the stage.
Yeah.
I would not play rugby.
Well, it's an easy game. You just get hit and you get back up. Well, in theater, there's much more involvement. Maybe I'm digging my grave here, but there's a lot more involvement with the whole being of as an artist. There's a rugby sport. There's an artistry involved in it as well. But I just found that theater at that moment for me was much more demanding, and so I had to give up playing sport. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
You should try playing playing rugby.
Playing rugby. I swim occasionally. That's about the extent of. I would challenge you to a treadmill any day. No.
Okay.
Okay. So, and was that with the theater when you did Romeo and Juliet?
Yes.
That was with the theater
Pacific
company
Theatre.
there.
Right now they've sort of moved on to doing film, but they're still active. And as I said before, the artists that were there at the time, they're still heavily involved in the art scene in New Zealand.
And so you did more plays with them, more work there?
Yes, and that was like a training ground for me. And I learned through them, performed with them, and as the months, years went by, I said to myself, you know, if I really want to commit to this, then I should take the next step. And the next step was to audition and to get into drama school. And in my first attempt, I failed, big time.
The audition?
Yes, the auditions
Yeah.
are the auditions. And as you know, when you do auditions, it's devastating when you're not picked.
It feels very, very
Yes,
personal.
but because I was very new into the art scene, I didn't know a lot of things. I didn't know a lot of the language that were used, like the stagecraft and that. But I knew straight away that this was something that I could commit to. And so the following year, I tried again, and luckily I made it.
Then you did it.
Yeah, and then then I went into drama school, which was a mission. You will know. I mean, going to a conservatory training is very difficult, but also exciting. It was very rewarding, and of course I finished. But when you're there, all you do is fine-tune your craft day in day out, and that's demanding. Very, very demanding.
It's personal.
Yes, very personal. But you're there with a group, an ensemble, and you gotta maintain that a word that was often used in complicity. Being at one with each other. When you have different personalities. Theater people have a lot of personality.
Yeah, they're in touch with a lot.
Yeah. So it's very demanding. But I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I did persevere and push to train.
Yeah. And how long were you in the conservatory?
This was a 2-year program. They've since gone into a 3-year program, but at the time, we were the group that I was in. We were the last of the 2-year program, so I think that was a very special sign.
To go on.
Yeah.
Now, the Pacific group that you were with, was that a paid position or was that a community organization?
It was a paid position, but when I first started, I wasn't involved, sort of one of the paid people, because I was learning. But as I became more involved with them, I, of course, became part of the company, and that's when you get paid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the training that you got in the conservatory, was that the gamut when the conservatory that I went to included, you know, Shakespeare and Moliere
Yes.
and Commedia dell'arte and all of these, as well as history, as well as the
Yeah,
movement.
it sounds like we went to the same school. Yes, we went through all the classes in Shakespeare, and of course learning about the pentameter of Shakespeare. But I have to admit, I'm not very skillful enough to be a Shakespearean actor. But we went through all of that, and we also and it was at the drama school that I discovered physical theater, and that's something that I immediately got attached to. And why? I think because of my physical background in playing sport. It was something that I could understand and could relate to. And also, I got involved in devising theater, because that was exciting to me when you were able to create your own work. So we did go through the whole gamut of studying theater, the history of theater as well, and musical theater. But don't ask me to be in your musical. I'm not that good.
Doing a musical rendition of
Yes.
Titus Andronicus. No.
Are you? Are
Yeah,
you gonna?
no.
I will come and see that. Wow. Right, do it, please. I'll come and see it. Yeah.
What, when you say the physical work of it,
Mhm.
can you break that down?
Physical. From my own perspective, physical theater to me is the starting point, or the point of departure for physical theater is you create work with the body first before you sit down and finish your work by writing the script or writing out your scenes. So, for example, if I have an idea of doing a show about an apple, you know, I would physically grab the apple or go to an apple tree and become one with the apple tree. No, not really. I don't do that. I would look at the apple and say, okay, how can I tell a story physically with my body? And if I'm holding the apple here, I could throw it in the air, catch it. See, that's very simple. And then maybe and then I'll go through all of this development, and then at the end I would write down the script. Actor A stands, looks at the tree, apple falls, throws it in there, right? That's the writing part is the last thing you want to do. You want to physically grab the tree and the apple and discover all the possibilities with that physically.
Okay.
Pick up, throw it. What is the reaction within yourself and your fellow actors when you throw the apple at them or at the wall? You know, those impulses that come to you physically, this is what we shoot, let's explore this. So it's exploring your story just through physical play.
And physical play, or then are you getting into the emotional reaction to having an apple thrown at you?
Yes, you're there kind of quick. You
Yeah.
know? And then sometimes when you go through the process, you think to yourself, nah, it doesn't make sense. That's not right. So you go back, you take steps backwards. So I mean, when you sit down and write a script, you write it out, and then you can erase what you don't like. So it's just it's the same process, but one is done in an active way as opposed to where you're sitting down, more passive.
Sure.
Yeah. But to me, I feel they still produce the same end product as you have a performance piece. But I prefer the physical development of a script or of an idea, and then beginning with scripting it first. Yeah. I just find that more invigorating, I guess.
Sure, to actually do, you're a kinesthetic person.
Yeah, I write the short script. Oh yeah, that's a good word. I write the script, short script, and how I wrote it was I because I'm not very good at writing, so I used my strength was the physical parts. So I said, okay, I see this person here, and it's gonna go here, it's gonna go there. Okay, so that's what I wrote. So I didn't go. Character A moves towards da da da. So I kind of, in my mind, I sat down. I didn't do it physically. I sat down and visualized, and then I started writing it. So that was for me the way that was for me the easiest way to produce a script by writing it. I have to look at what's going on physically
You have to
and then write it down.
feel that you're in the room.
Yeah.
This is ThinkTech Hawaii, the arts in Hawaii, and I'm Donna Blanchard talking with Misa Tupou. I'm a visual person. I have to use a whiteboard when I'm putting together ideas, whether it's for something artistic or I'm putting together a marketing campaign or
Yes.
a budget.
Yes. Yes.
So you're more of a kinesthetic moving person. It sounds to me like it sounds like thoughtful improvisation, thoughtful directed improvisation.
Yes, but also just allow yourself to play. The idea is to go in there and create something, but allow yourself, but allow yourself to play. Because I think if you restrict yourself and you doubt yourself, and if you start editing straight away, then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Playing is very important when you're involved in theater. I remember a lot of times when we played in theater, a lot of theater games, especially for newbie myself when I got into it, I enjoyed those games. And I think there's one thing that I've kept with myself as I've developed as an artist, keep playing. 'Cause
Nice.
if you don't enjoy it, outside.
It's got to be fun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we'll get to some play that we're going to be offering people on the island soon. I want to go back to, okay, you went through the conservatory, and then what are the chain of events in your life that brought you here? All right, well, what were the next 5 years after that? Let's go back a little bit. You finished the conservatory, and then what?
Yeah. Okay, as soon as this is getting personal, I'll edit. As soon as I finished, I came to Hawaii. Yeah. So I've been here for about 10 years now.
Were you exiled here?
Excellent. Yes. I was Romeo. You are banished. So I was banished. Yeah.
Being exiled to Hawaii is
Hawaii.
not a bad thing.
No.
Okay.
So I came here and then stayed for 5 years, and then I moved back to New Zealand. Stayed for about 4 years, then I came back.
Oh.
There was families, so I had families in here, then a family back there. So we decided to come back to Hawaii, and in many ways, going back and forth was very rewarding, revealing at the same time. When you talk to artists, they go through these phases, and I went through one of those. What do I want to do? How can I contribute to my home, which Hawaii is now home. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the same sort of journey that I went to. How can there be more
Yeah.
involved in my art, and how can I be a part of something more that, at least for me, feels right?
Exactly. Then you will understand. I had a sense of, when I first came to Hawaii, and also in my second coming, my return. It's the wrong word to say. I didn't feel that this is really the place where I should be. But because of family, I had to change my mindset. Again, how can I contribute to this society, because this is home for now? And just having that change of mindset allowed me to breathe again and say, yeah, I can do this, I can stay here and contribute. Because if you don't have that desire to contribute to where you are at, you're going to be miserable.
Mm.
And I felt, junk. I wanted to go back home, so.
Yeah.
But I'm still here now.
So have you, what have you done for a living since you've gotten here? Yeah.
Many things. Had job. I worked in a retail store. One of the best jobs I've had was working in the arts program, where we went to different elementary schools in a bus. The program was called the Artmobile, but sadly that program was terminated.
Oh.
I was very disappointed. Great program.
Yeah.
You're in this bus. There was two buses. I was just in one of them, inside this bus there were masks, and which were from different parts of the world. We talked to the students. We went to the schools, the bus outside the parking lot, and the students would come into the bus, and I would discuss the masks within the cultural importance of it and the materials used and all of that inside the bus. And we showed them the masks. And then after that, we would go into their classroom, and I would show the students how to perform with the masks, how to make the masks come alive. I really, really enjoyed
That's wonderful
that
work
job.
for kids.
Yes, and it was.
Yeah.
And when you talk about your target audience, they were right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were able to communicate with them straight away, and you know the things about children, they have no inhibitions, and many of times I was so amazed with what they were able to produce, and I wish I could show you, but I didn't record any of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was that through the Honolulu Museum of Art?
No, actually it was with the DOE, Department of Education.
Because I think the museum has a program like that, or it seems to me
Yes.
I've read something about that.
They have a similar program, but not with the bus. Yeah.
Oh, an
So-
art bus.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something like that on the Big Island. Anyway, so tell me, when you were working with those kids, you were very inspired. You're obviously very passionate about what came out of that. Why?
The freshness of it. Again, the kids don't critique themselves. They just have a go. Again, being playful. And it comes back to that being playful. And I really enjoy that, watching the kids perform. I should say there were students that were shy, but you know what? I'd always try to incorporate those shy students. And when they take that first step, and I think this is probably why I really enjoyed it, is seeing those shy students, when they take that first step, when they put on their mask, it's like they're a whole new person. Well, you know, when you put on a mask and somebody else,
Yeah.
the whole body just lights up, and I really, really enjoyed seeing those students come alive. You know, and you have those other students that are just more flamboyant and, you know, out there, which is great. But those students that need just a little bit more help, magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're actually got an opportunity to witness the power of art with a capital A
Yes.
with those students.
Yes.
That
Okay.
is the bomb.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had several different jobs. Did you work at any restaurants?
No.
Oh,
I've eaten.
you haven't lived.
Yes, no, I haven't lived. Even back in New Zealand, I was unemployed, but I did not work. At one time I was unemployed, but I did not work at any restaurants back there.
Oh.
Yeah, the restaurant scene for me is a whole new experience. I've
Then
eaten in
you-
the summer. I shouldn't I? Yeah.
You've got that plan. That's always my plan B. I could always go back to working at a restaurant. I enjoyed the immediacy, the hard work and the reward and the it's done at
done.
the end of the
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I remember my days in the restaurant world very fondly.
Yes.
So you are here in Hawaii. Have you worked with any of the established companies that are here? Have you worked with Kumukuhua?
Yes. That was one of the first. Well, I should say second. The first place that I performed at when I arrived here was at Leawood Community College. And then I moved on to what was the second show? The second show was at Kumukuhua Theatre, and that was my I guess big opening for me, because I met a lot more of the community, and I still am attached to Kumukuhua Theatre. I've come volunteered at times, but I've stopped volunteering. I've been busy doing other stuff, but I'm involved with other projects at Kumukuhua, and one of them was indirectly helping is they recently had the Maori Film Festival. Film is another thing that I enjoy, and I was glad to be asked to help out in a small way, so I was happy to do that. But the other things that I'm really excited about reconnecting with Kumiko Theatre as being part of the education committee, education committee, because as as you would have guessed, I enjoy being involved in the education environment, and I'm pushing for the committee to be, have more of the outreach and out into the schools and out in the community, but also work and assist established actors, because we are a one community, and to me, it's all education, it's all learning.
And it's all playing.
Yes.
It needs to be. It needs to feel like. Yeah. When I got here, I said, "Where are the class? I want to take a class." It's been a while since I took a class, and there was nothing.
Yes.
Here,
Yes.
so we're making it.
Yes.
We're making it happen.
Agree.
For adults, anyway. There are
Yes.
other
Yeah,
classes
yeah.
on the end.
Well,
I don't want to.
I feel that as an artist, you shouldn't stop. For a swimmer, right? You can
Yeah.
say you swim. If you stop swimming, you lose all these muscles that are geared towards you staying afloat. If you don't float, you sink. So as an artist, you're still going to maintain your muscle skills. Okay, because if you don't, you soon see your skill level drop. And when
Right.
you're in this industry, you're going to always be on top of your game.
Yeah, and you always have to be. You have to be aware of what's going on with the body, and it's easy to lose that awareness when you're sitting at a desk all day. Trust me on that. So.
You get up and stretch.
Yeah, you lose the. You can't. You have no canvas. You have to be aware of the canvas before you can start painting.
Yes.
Right. Since we're analogizing.
Yes, we'll just throw some paint.
You got into film work when? Did that start back in Auckland?
No. Well, in a small way, yes, it did. But I really pushed towards theater because of my training in theater. As I mentioned before, to me, theater was just much more at the forefront than anything else. So I stuck with that. And I did a little bit of film stuff in New Zealand. But when I came over here, this is where, for me, it kind of took off. I don't know why. Maybe I just rediscovered film again and fell in love with it and decided to create in that genre or in that medium. Storytelling. I think, we're all storytellers. Whether we tell a story through a book or film, TV, we're still storytellers. And I thought, I have a story to tell using film, the medium of film. So I did that. And I'm still learning that craft. I enjoy it. I enjoy telling stories through that medium. But how I got started was actually a competition here in Chinatown that I would go to and watch like every other month when it was on. And the more I was exposed to it, I kind of got a big head and said, hey, I could do that. I could tell a story using film, using...
What was the competition?
Showdown in Chinatown. It's a bi-monthly event held in one of the locations, bars in Chinatown.
It was. It's no longer going on. I haven't heard of this before.
It's still going on.
What?
Yeah, still going on. Yeah.
That sounds fabulous.
Yeah.
Bi-monthly there's a film competition
Yes.
in Chinatown.
Mhm.
Do you know where it is? Who's doing it?
It's
Why don't I know about
a couple of people. Actually, the next one is on this weekend, May 18th. Yeah. Yeah.
Where?
It will be held at next door. It's in Chinatown. Yeah.
You don't know which
The
I can't believe
yeah,
I haven't
next
heard of
door bar.
it. There's a bar called the Next
Yeah,
Door.
next door. Yeah. Yeah. You know how
I'm like, next door is a bar.
you're saying next door. Okay. You choose whichever next. Yeah. You know how we were talking about the education committee, how you're gonna maintain your skill level. That also offers the same opportunity to because they accept professional artists, but they also anybody that wants to do it. And I was one of those anybody that says, yeah, I could do that. And so I had to go. And it's very opening. you can do whatever you want. Okay, so that's again, it's playing. You know,
That,
have a go.
yeah.
Have a go.
Hold on for just hold that thought.
Okay.
This is ThinkTech Hawaii. The show is The Arts in Hawaii. I'm Donna Blanchard talking with Misa Tupou. And Jay Fidel is with us in the ThinkTech studios, and he has something that he would like to say. Jay?
Hi, Donna. Thank you for giving me a moment. Great discussion between you and Misa.
Thank you.
On May 23rd, ThinkTech and the Hawaii Venture Capital Association will be presenting a very important luncheon panel program at the Plaza Club. It's called our 2013 Update on Housing in Hawaii, Waking Up the American Dream at a Cost We Hope We Can Afford. Harry Saunders at Castle and Cook, Hawaii will moderate the panel, and Paul Brubaker, economist and provocateur, will provide opening remarks. The panel will include Stanford Carr, developer, Tony Ching, executive director of the Hawaii Community Development Authority, Paul Kay of Kamehameha Schools, Nick Vanderboom of Howard Hughes Corporation, John Wallenstrom, it's really quite a list, John Wallenstrom of Forest City, and John White of Pacific Resource Partners. Let me tell you, Donna, that is an incredible list. These guys collectively are building or about to build billions of dollars of housing, lots of it in Kaka'ako in the city. Collectively, they are principals in the impending development of all these projects. And as it works out, if you look at the newspaper every day, this is a really hot topic in the local news. As housing goes, so goes the state. But housing is fraught with delays, permitting issues, bureaucracy, activism, and high prices and taxes. Home development isn't what it's cracked up to be, and neither is home ownership. Like it or not, we're on the cusp of a housing transformation in Honolulu at least. How is that going to work out? Will we like it or not? Find out on May 23rd. Sign up at hvca.org. I hope to see you guys there next Thursday, the 23rd.
Thanks, Jay. I will definitely be there. Jay does an amazing job of putting together the Hawaii Capitalist panels.
Thank you, Donna.
At the luncheons. And yes, I'll be there. I saw the paper on Saturday. Did you see the article about Kaka'ako, one of the plans for Kaka'ako that...
No, not the recent article, but I have seen some previous articles about Kaka'ako, and it's interesting.
It is. Thank you, Jay. Everyone should go to that luncheon. We'll see you there. All right, so Saturday night, next door, which is not next door, it's a bar called Next Door.
Yeah.
They have a film competition for anyone who wants to get involved.
Yes.
How cool, because I think there's... Vine now for iPhones. I think people are communicating with the film modality so much more easily than when I grew up, even than when you grew up. You can take a phone and create, and computers come with editing programs now. Not just Macs. PCs come with nice little editing programs now. Anyone can put a little something together. How fabulous that opportunity for play is there.
And it's a great nurturing ground to develop and uplift the artists here in Hawaii. Okay, because that's the only way I feel. Of course, you go to the schools and you train, but also gotta keep maintaining your skills, and that's another way to upskill yourself. To participate in that. You don't have to, but you can just go out and do it on your own time. But when there's a collective mass, the energy pushes you.
Oh yeah.
You should have a go.
Sure.
Grab your iPhone.
I'm one of those people who, like when you said I was arrogant enough to think that I could do it. I'm thinking I could do that.
That's what I said. But I called some friends who are actually professionals within the film industry, and they said, "Yeah, I'll come and help."
See, fab.
Even though you know something, you know that someone else knows more than you. Yeah. So I didn't say, "Oh, I can do it by myself." I had help. people that had the gear and knew what they were talking about. They knew technology. I'm very bad at technology, by the way, but I got people to help me, and I was very fortunate that they did. I was just going to touch on what Jay said about the housing thing. When I first came to Hawaii, I was blown away by the homeless scene here. It's kind of sad. And with the showdown in Chinatown, the short film that I made actually touched on the homeless in Chinatown, and I'll show it to you someday.
Yeah.
And they asked the filmmakers, what is your perception of Chinatown, Honolulu? And for me, being an outsider, there was one thing that I noticed, that the homeless community in Chinatown, but also the new resurgence, the new urban development was going on. So I kind of looked at those two angles and created this film called One Night. But the protagonist itself was a homeless person.
The protagonist.
Yeah. So I think that panel that Jay is working on is very relevant to today.
Mm-hmm.
Housing,
Mm-hmm.
money. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of film work gives you film work and playwriting gives you an opportunity to say, you have a blank canvas on
Yes.
which to say what you want to say.
Mhm.
When you're working as an actor with a script, you're interpreting
Yes.
someone else is saying. And playing is an opportunity to explore all of the above. Are you so you're still involved in film work? Are you working
Yes.
on anything currently?
Not currently. I have projects on the shelf. I've written a few other scripts, but they're on the shelf because I've got other stuff going on. But one film event that I'm involved in is the Aotearoa New Zealand Film Festival, which is exciting. I'm really excited about it because it's films about New Zealand and Aotearoa. So anything with those two, with that name on, I'm happy to be involved in it. That is happening next month, June 15th to the 21st at the Doris Duke Theatre. Please come along.
Yeah.
The good thing about film, as with theatre, you learn about other cultures, right? Or you learn about that particular moment at that particular time. So if you come and watch the films, you'll be able to see what is currently happening in New Zealand or what people are thinking about.
That's the 15th through the 21st, you said?
Of June, yes.
And what's your involvement in it?
I mean, in the committee. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
So we talk about what films we would like to see, and we discuss that. But how I got involved with it was a friend of mine asked me, "Hey, do you want to?" Just like that, actually. "Hey, do you want to be involved in this film festival I want to start?" I said, "Sure. What's it called?" Aotearoa New Zealand. I said, "Oh, okay." It's about home. I'm in. I've never been involved in a film festival, except as a film maker. But to actually create a festival, I said, "Sure. What do we do?" And so we approached for example, Doris Duke, and this is our second year, and it's really exciting in a lot of ways. Yeah. And again, for me, why it's exciting is there's the attachment to back home.
Yeah.
Come.
So if you have, let's talk about the movement work a little bit. I'd like to get into that,
okay.
and then I'd like to talk about how the effect of all of these different modes in your life. We'll wait until we get into that. But let's talk about the movement study work that I know is a big part of your passion for the art.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was introduced to that term physical theater or movement-based theater, device, ensemble work at drama school, I felt that was the only way I could tell my story. Or if I learned more about this form, excuse me, it would make me a much stronger person, a much stronger artist. And in drama school, we were introduced to the mask work, clowning work, and commedia dell'arte, and also the Lecoq pedagogy. I always remember this. The teacher that taught us Lecoq. We were involved in this little exercise, and you had to be strong. You had to be entertaining. You had to be on in the zone. And if you weren't, you suck. Back to the line. So there was a line of us, like the person in the front would lead, and if it was your turn to lead, you have to be on. If not, you're terrible. Nobody wants to see you. Get to the back of the line. So you had to work yourself up to be at the top. And that to me was a great example of how you're going to maintain your skill level.
Yeah.
If you're not, if you don't value what you do, why would people come in and watch or pay to see your work?
Well, and that value is presence.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Being fully present. And you're talking about the École, the Jacques Lecoq.
Yes.
School of, clown.
Yes.
That is very different than the clown we think of.
Yes.
Here.
Not the haha. No.
Not bozo.
Sorry, no.
Not bozo. I was lucky enough to work with a movement teacher at the Wright State University who was a student of the Jacques Lecoq School.
Okay, yeah. The connection to the master is far wide. And so I fell in love with that medium, and I decided, what more could I do? And then I went to Australia and trained with this group called Zen Zo Physical Theatre in Australia.
Physical?
Physical. I'm
sorry.
It's that accent.
It's that accent. I was working on budgets earlier today.
Oh,
so
fiscal.
Fiscal? How did we switch those gears?
We should talk about that as part of the arts. What was I saying? I went to Australia.
Money always.
Yes.
Just cuts art in half. No, I'm
Please
sorry.
support the arts. So I decided, this is what I like, and I went to Australia and trained in a intensive course. Oh my gosh, and physical theatre, which their main points were the Suzuki method and viewpoints and Buto. So physical theatre is not just one lane. There are multiple lanes. Like when we were talking about Commedia and Lecoq, they can all come in and build that genre, so to speak. That course in Australia was very physically demanding.
Yeah.
We had to train ourselves physically and also vocally, and also using our imagination. Throughout the years, I've stayed on that track. So I do perform in more of a physical style and use mask a lot. I was in the show. Oh, you didn't come see the show? Monkey Solo. That's what.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were involved in that.
I was. Oh, and the great thing about that, I used my short film as well and mask. And that's something I like. When we talk about technology, I like to fuse the two medium, film and live theater.
Oh, yeah.
And so I do a bit of a street theater as well. For example, the film, one night I projected on the back wall of the building, and I performed live in close proximity to it. So I had my mask on, and I was just walking around and performing. And people, either they knew what was going on or they had no idea, and they would just go past you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was great. So the fusion of those two mediums to me is a great way to tell a story, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
So movement-based theater, I enjoy doing. Yeah. But there's a great piece, a traditional naturalistic piece. Yes, I'd love to do that as well. Yeah.
To do the.
Naturalistic style of play.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, like for example, Shakespeare. Actually, Shakespeare was very physical as well.
Well,
very demanding.
yeah. It was.
And the language.
Yeah, you had to tell the story with your body because
Yes.
of just sound didn't necessarily travel to the back of the house, so your body had to be able to tell the story as well, right? This is ThinkTech Hawaii. The show is The Arts in Hawaii. I'm Donna Blanchard of Kumukuhua Theater, and I'm talking with Misa Tupou of the Oahu Fringe Festival, which we're going to talk about now. And I'm constantly intrigued by the idea of the different modalities of art and what we as an artist get from them, where the satisfaction comes from. And I think it's best that we do go ahead and we'll talk about the Fringe Festival. We've got about 15 minutes here. We'll talk about the Fringe Festival, and we'll talk about the education opportunities we're creating at Kumukuhua Theater.
Yes, yeah.
And then hopefully we can spend just a couple of minutes on sort of a wrap up of where that takes us as artists.
Okay.
Ooh, it's kind of esoteric, but we'll get there. So how you started the Oahu Fringe Festival?
Yes. Early on when I said, how can I contribute to the society here? That mindset got me onto the Fringe Festival. I was introduced to the Fringe Festival in New Zealand, and I thoroughly enjoyed it as an artist participating, but also as an audience member, because you see all these hodgepodge of different styles of performances. And so when I came back to Hawaii, Tim Bostock, who was a theatre producer, I approached him and said, "Hey, buddy, do you want to start a Fringe Festival?" Oh, we kind of hum and haw about it. I think we were both scared about starting it. And then we said, "Okay, let's have a go." Again, just have a go. And then, and then Tim left town, and I went, "Oh, okay."
Oh.
How can I continue with this? Because I don't have any experience in producing events. I have experience in creating and producing my own work, but that's on a small scale. When you're doing events or when you run a company at Kumukuhua, that's huge. And I had no experience in that. Faith. So I said, okay, this is something that I can give back to the community. Create this Fringe Festival, and then we'll come. And so far, it's okay. We're new, we're inexperienced, but the passion and drive to contribute to the society is immense.
Oh, so yeah, you're answering my last question already. But how many years we're going into what?
We're going to our third year.
The third year of it.
We first started in 2011. It was a great learning experience, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's an opportunity for anyone to participate, whether you're a fresh out of school or you're a fully fledged artist. It doesn't matter. Anybody can participate in the Fringe Festival.
Okay, and by participate, let's say what this looks like. People, right now you have open enrollment for it.
Yep.
Let's say I have a physical musical experience that I want to share with audiences.
Sign up.
I sign up with you,
Yep.
and what do you tell me? Do you say, here's where you're going to perform and when?
Yes, we have, this year you have two options of where you can perform in a venue that the Fringe Festival will manage, or if you're gung-ho and you really want to go out and create something exciting for yourself, you can find your own venue, so site-specific, and do your show in the venue. For example, if you want to do your musical in your own house or lounge or bathroom or the bus stop outside your house, you can. You just have to get the permits to do that. And that's exciting. Doing site-specific work allows the artists to decide where they want to perform. But if they don't want to do that, they can opt in to perform in the venues that we, the Fringe Festival, manages.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you're working with us and
Yes.
Mark's Garage.
Yes, we are.
The Loading Zone?
Loading Zone and On King. So the good thing about placing it in one location, environments, I guess, is the proximity to those different venues. Because you want the audience to go to one show here, and then I want to see another show.
And
They
then go
can
to
track
the
down
next
the Kumukuhua Theater or track back up there, and it's just 2 or 3 minutes walk. Yeah.
So are there things going on all at the same time, or is it
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you sometimes you have to choose. I'm going to see this rather than that.
Exactly, like a box of chocolate.
No, you can eat the entire box of chocolate.
You can, yeah. I lost my
Trust
train
me
of
on that.
yeah. So the Fringe, the Oahu Fringe Festival is modeled after the original Fringe Festival, which is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland. And how it has always been is you do put on multiple shows in multiple venues, and we would like to expand it further away. But right now, the having it here is good for us because we're young and new. So multiple venues, multiple shows, but that can only happen if we have shows signed up. So
Right.
please sign up.
Well, and you're in the process of getting people
Yes,
to sign
yes.
up right now.
Mhm.
So if someone wants to do that, what do they do?
They can go to a website, and
The website is?
the website is oahufringe.com/ this way artist with an S at the end, artists
oahufringe.com
/
/artist.
yes.
Okay. Well,
And
you
all
can find a link on
yes,
here.
and or just go to oahufringe.com. All the information on how to apply and any other information you need, of course, you can email us or on the website.
And what are the dates of the festival?
November 7th to the 10th, 2013, this year. So sign up, it'll be fun
7 through,
to the 10th.
okay,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
weekend
Yes.
is a weekend, whether if you're an artist to put an offering in, but
Yes.
as an audience member and an artist to save that weekend because there's a lot going on in Chinatown.
Yes. And you can see multiple shows and you can decide, oh, I don't want to go to any other venue. I can just stay here and see all the shows here. Then the next day, I'll go to other venues. Another thing I want to add is we initiating the Sunday, which is the 10th, we're initiating a family-friendly shows only. So one of the comments we got last year was, oh, do you have any family-friendly, people are telling stuff and we're listening. Okay,
Yeah.
so as we're developing, we want to be able to have those, or, take in those feedback and see if we can create something. So we want to be able to have that. We are starting the family-friendly showcase this year.
Nice, because you had some racy stuff last year.
Yeah, we did. We accept everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody has a family-friendly show, please sign up and you'll be part of the Fringe. Oh, there is a registration fee, so do check that online.
Okay. Kumukuhu also has a Dark Knight series that we're always looking for people who, we offer our theater to people who have an act that they want to perform, and it amazes me that we don't have people busting down the door to get in and do that. I don't think for the Fringe, you've had you had 10 different acts last year.
Yes.
So
yeah.
you do get a number of people doing that. I want to make sure that, how do we make sure that artists hear about these opportunities to do their new, exciting, experimental work and play?
Whew.
And it's not like there are people holding up scorecards at
No,
the end.
no.
You
Yeah.
really can, there's no failure.
No,
Right?
no, it's not. It's up to you what you want to create. But be nice and be safe. So just getting back to your Dark Knight series, I mean, that's one of the things we want to partner with Kumukuhu is because you are already doing, excuse me, work. You already have the opportunity,
Right.
for people to, hey, come and be part of this. And for us, even though we had like 10 acts, we're still new and we still want to push out what the Fringe is about. We would love to get more folks to come. So partnering with all these venues in Honolulu, I think we'll be able to expand our reach. And I think that would be the way to really lift,
Yeah.
who we are as a Fringe Festival is to continue partnering with the local theatre communities. And that's the expansion I was talking about earlier on. We would like to do that. But right now, financially, we don't have the means to do that. But collaboration is a key factor in operating a Fringe Festival.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you for collaboration that helps, at least with the marketing of it, do you have a Facebook page
Yes,
for
we
it
do.
also?
Yep.
Well, let's make sure that we get together
Okay.
on that so that we can share each other's work and
Mhm.
make sure that we're promoting,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
that way. So let's talk real briefly about the education opportunities here and what we at the last education committee meeting, we talked about having a monthly offering
Mhm.
for people here. What were some of the classes that we'd talked about?
For me, what I had pushed for is to upskill the actors' skill level. When we talk about the adults classes, and and then John came in. Oh, we should look at doing improv as a way for beginners to start off the series, and then we can look at doing all those classes like Shakespeare classes.
John Watt of Mid-Pacific
Yes.
Institute.
So upskill to me is very important because again, it's placing value on what you put out there, and if we upskill one's skill level, then I think we have a strong product to share with the community. So I'm hoping that the education community at Kumukahua Theatre will keep going. When you asked me to be in it, I was very honored, and I'm happy to be involved in it.
We're happy to have you there.
Thank you. So, and I know there's the people involved in it established within the community, so I'm sure, theatre community, so I'm sure it will keep going.
I hope so. You know, we've offered, we had the master class that we did in collaborative writing last year. We had a class in auditioning, monologue preparation, which is really character study.
Yes.
The classes that we're talking about doing are cold reading work
Mhm.
for those auditions that involve a cold
Mhm.
reading. More character development, a couple of levels
Yes.
of that.
Yeah.
Scene work.
Scene work, yes.
Um,
So we talked about analysis of the work.
yeah.
Yeah, and just getting back to the monologue thing, see, there's a need for training adults. And we had a bunch of people coming for their monologue workshop. So I think if we
Yeah.
continue this, we have people that were hungry.
We have
for
people
this.
who are hungry to learn,
Yeah.
and it was fun. And I think
Mhm.
we will create a synergy. We did create a synergy
Yes,
in
exactly.
the last workshops
Yes.
that we did that will breed more work for Fringe Festival and Dark Nights and
Yes.
main stages all
Mhm.
over the island and beyond. And I think it's
Right.
important that our artists really stake.
Exactly, and if they start from that initial step, like doing the Fringe and the Dark Nights, the evolution of being involved in a play or creating a piece is you want to go to the main stage,
Mhm.
right? And so Kumukahua is there, and what your mission is, you do work that promotes Hawaii, right? So the content that they work on, hopefully, if they push and refine the piece, it could be forwarded to Kumukahua Theatre for a main stage,
Yeah.
and whom one never knows.
The
That's
sky's
the
the
projection
limit.
we want to go.
So, do you feel like you're trying to say something with the work that you do?
Somebody asked me, I gave this talk at KCC, and somebody asked me if I'm what's the word, activist. Because some things that and I said, whoa, I don't think so. I don't stand on a box and scream out. But why they asked it, because the work I've done thus far has all dealt with social issues, like the homeless, domestic
Oh,
violence, miscarriage. I kind of do dark and projects, work that people don't often talk about. I think I do, but I haven't verbalized it. But all the work that I've been doing, yes, there's
It
always
does
something to say.
Go in
Yeah.
that direction. I'm glad that you were here to say what
Thank
you
you.
have to say. We're out of time. We have to
Okay.
leave it there. This is Donna Blanchard for ThinkTech Radio. We've been discussing theater with our guest Misa Tupou of the Oahu Fringe Festival. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you.
Misa. Thanks.